Hello, my loves. Obviously, I have to pause for a couple of minutes to give you guys time to catch up, which is fine. So, per usual, I've got my cup of water. I've taken January off from alcohol because I have a fitness goal that I'm trying to reach, a health goal. For those of you who are following my health journey, my weight loss journey, I'm trying to get it in line. So January, really the only major change I've made is that I've gotten a little bit stricter with my eating, and I cut out alcohol just for January, but I'm right back on it again in February because you gotta have a little bit of extra something. February is about to be party time. I know all kind of different things are happening, so I'll be back on it. But for now, we're chilling. We got our water to start. Today's topic is cutting people off. I know y'all love it. I know that's why I chose it as a topic. Happy New Year's, Uncle. Y'all go support the family business, Bloodso's Barbecue. They got a couple locations in, probably more than that now, in LA. I think one in Australia. But y'all just go support it. If y'all in Los Angeles, go on, pull up at Bloodso's Barbecue. Get you some ribs, some of that brisket, you know what I'm saying? Don't trip. But yeah, shout out to Uncle Bloodso and all of his amazing endeavors. I can't wait to eat that barbecue when I get back in town. Okay, so yes, here we are. We are starting. Today's topic is cutting people off. I'm Vee Prince, per usual, and today I'm joined by my house plant, well, one of my house plants, Thaddeus. Thaddeus is a, I forget what the brand of house tree is called, corn plant. I want to say corn tree, something like that, but he's a pretty low maintenance tree. He's got 3 different stumps that grow. It's a pretty big plant, but he's amazing. So that's Thaddeus, and you guys can also see him in my Instagram stories fairly often because he's my favorite. Okay, so we're diving into this topic for today, cutting people off. I know we love to talk about it. I know it's like people's favorite thing to say, I got to get rid of the toxic people in my life. You're not going to do something. I'm not going to deal with you no more. I don't need that energy around me. I don't need the negativity, like so on and so forth, and all the ways that we just love to cut people off. But what I'm realizing, though, is for all the people that love to cut people off, nobody's talking about how you're actually sustaining your friendships, your relationships with family members. Not everybody is as toxic as needs to be cut off. Not everybody needs to be cut off. That's the truth about it. The truth is that a lot of y'all don't know how to have a level of conflict resolution. Period. Y'all do not know how to solve problems. All y'all know how to do is get mad about something, and it's usually something hella small. It's usually like the smallest thing ever. All y'all know how to do is just get mad and just leave. And at some point, we need to have conversations. I know it's hard. Ooh, I know y'all got the butterflies in your stomach. Your chest get tight. Your palms start to get sweaty like Eminem. You know what I'm saying? Mom's spaghetti. That's how y'all feel. I get it. I understand. I absolutely understand. And let me just say this. I still feel the same way when I think about having conversations with people that might be a little difficult. However, yes, that's it. That's what it is. That's what kind of tree it is. Sorry, I'm like hopping all over the place. I'm reading the comments. It's I don't even know how to pronounce that, but in the comments is the name of the type of tree that I have. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's also something corn tree. Thank you for that in the comments. Okay, so yeah, back to what I was saying is that we don't know how to have these types of conversations. I actually posted something last week or maybe this weekend that basically said that we're pretty much in an era where we freeze up when we have to have these tough conversations. Like, y'all think about go back to your youth, right? Growing up, how easy was it for you to talk to your parents? How easy was it for you to go to your parents about something that might have been difficult and have that conversation? Or what happened when you got in trouble at the house? What happened when you were in trouble with your mom or your dad or whatever? What was that conversation like? And if you're anything like that, on average, most of us, you tense up because you're like, oh, I'm in trouble. I don't know if your parents spanked you, but I got whoopings at the house. So we got spanked. It wasn't, now I'll say for me, it wasn't often, but it also, I think there's just a level of general intimidation that a lot of times as children and as we grow up, we don't grow out of that. We don't grow out of the anxiety that we have when we deal with certain levels of confrontation. So even though you're a whole ass grown up, sometimes we never learn how to have adult conversations. Is there a class for that? Do they teach that in home ec? Where do we get to the point where we can say, I know how to have a conversation with somebody that I have an issue with. I learned it from this, or I read a book about it, or do you see it on TV and you put it into action? I'm not sure. But what I'm seeing is instead of putting into practice and learning how to have hard conversations, instead we're turning to a cutoff culture that cuts everyone off. Now, granted, there is the conversation of toxic and really narcissistic and sociopaths where they have to kind of be cut off. You throw them in jail, or you kick them out of society or anything and those are extreme behaviors in my eyes. Those are extreme behaviors that are just completely just unnecessary. We do not tolerate that kind of thing. But I think on average, the cutoff culture has spread to other areas and prevents us from having the conversations we need to have in the first place. So for me, as someone who tries her best to connect with her friends, and I'm not perfect, don't claim to be perfect whatsoever, but if you're trying to have deeper connections with people, you're trying to get close with people, you're trying to build a family and all of that, you eventually have to have the conversations with people that you're not very excited about. You have to talk about how your cousin keeps borrowing money and never pays it back, but then want to pop up at the family reunion with brand new shoes and clothes. Cousin, you owe me a couple bits of coin. You want to just hand over the shoes because we were both the same size. So that's fine. That works for me. We need to have a conversation. So this is my question to you all, is that, do you feel like you were equipped in life from whomever to learn how to deal with conflict, or do you think that the default is cutoff culture? And you can just put a heart emoji, or you can give me a thumbs up, whatever y'all want to do. But the question is being posed because I don't want to see us just cut ourselves into a small island unto ourselves. Excuse me. It's not beneficial for us to say that we want to have deeper relationships, but at the same time we default to our own toxic behavior, because the reality is cutting people off without explanation or trying to fix things even better is a toxic behavior as well. I know y'all don't want to see it like that, but that's the truth about it. You're literally not giving anyone an opportunity to express themselves. You're not taking your own behaviors into account, and you're not really taking their behaviors into account. A lot can be said for someone who can have a conversation and sit down and say, look, I did this, I apologize. Or maybe they don't apologize. Maybe they just look, I want to talk to you about this thing, and this is why I don't think I'm wrong. That's okay too. It's okay to not have to apologize. It's just the fact that, are you communicating? Are you communicating with your loved ones about what's going on in your life, about the issues that you might be running into, about why communicating is so hard for you? I think we have to be honest about the place that we're coming from. And you also end up with a lot of people who will shut down a situation before it gets too far because they're afraid of being hurt. That goes into abandonment issues. Prez said, your parents are primary mind controllers. Got to grow into your social sovereignty when you get older. Hold on, sorry. It's a longer comment, so I can't really see the whole thing. Hold on one second. Let's see. It helps with convos to know how to face potential conflicts. Look into it when you get time. Thank you for that feedback, Prez. I really appreciate that. Yeah, no, it's true though, to an extent. Like, your parents raise you as best they can. They raise you with an understanding of what their own programming or upbringing gave them. They don't have all the answers. I don't think any parents have all the answers. Just because you're an adult doesn't mean that you really know what's going on. You're just doing the best you can. So your parents are going to equip you with as best as they know. From there, though, as an adult, you have to get to the point where you expand on that understanding. Your parents can either build a foundation or just build enough for you to just get where you need to go, and then you have to reprogram yourself. But honestly, like, the entire purpose of this video is to explain a little bit more in detail, or at least to have us think about how we are feeding into cutoff culture. Now, if you're afraid of difficult conversations, figure out why you're afraid of them. It could come from your parents. It could come from maybe conflict that you had with your siblings that deterred you from bringing certain things up. I have someone in my life very close to me who, when they grew up, they always got chastised, no matter if they did or did not say anything, which brings them to the point of where they'll say, I'm not going to even bring it up because I'm going to get in trouble either way. It doesn't matter. And so if that's your response, you got to figure out what the source is and then work your way back. You have to literally have a moment with yourself and say, okay, I recognize that this comes from my youth. I recognize that this is a sore spot for me. Now, what happens though is a lot of people stop there. A lot of people stop and say, that's all I got. I ain't got nothing else. I just know it came from my youth. That's why I am the way I am. See me, love me. Oh, well. Sorry. Sorry to this man. That's not the end of the work. Like, there's so much more that has to be done. It's a great start, but it's definitely not the end of it. You don't get to address something that you're going through and then just be like, oh, okay, I'm done. That's it. Hey, childhood trauma here. I'm finished. That's it. I'm traumatized. That's why I'm this way. Cool. Sounds good. See me, love me. No, that's not it. Because now you have to start doing the reprogramming. And that could be various different ways. You could go to therapy. You could join a group therapist. You could read books about how to reprogram yourself. You could watch tons of, there's so many great videos on YouTube that would address the specific thing that you're going through. You have to feed yourself the knowledge that will help you to recover from that. You don't get to just be like, oh, well, when I was younger, my dad used to yell at me a lot, so that's why I shut down during arguments. Oh, well, that's like, but then you expect for people to show up for you in your life, right? You expect for people to give you grace because you have this kind of communication issue. You expect that, right? For how long? Grace, favor, all have expirations. They do not last forever. You cannot realistically expect for your friends to always give you grace. It's not sustainable, especially if you're not allowing that same grace back. Because if you're traumatized and you're exhibiting certain behaviors, you can't even give nobody grace. You can't. You have no grace to give. You are a traumatized, wounded person. You are going through your own journey of healing that's at such a high level. You're not self-correcting. So how can you allow anyone else to have grace to self-correct if you're not even doing it for yourself? How? Now, it's not to say that you can't exhibit certain behaviors of being a decent friend. Cool. Anybody can be a decent friend. I can meet decent friends on the bus. What makes you a good friend? What makes you a good friend? You have to go through the levels of healing. It's painful. Do not get it twisted. Y'all want to be on social media looking at all these beautiful pictures of sunsets and daffodils and baby lambs and all kinds of things. Healing is ugly. ugly, ugly. Like when you first take your weave out of your head after 3 months and them scraggly little braids underneath, they're all fuzzy. That's what healing really looks like. Healing looks like when you, like, I don't know, you get burned on your skin and the scab bubbles up. That's healing. Healing is ugly, grotesque, painful, but so worth it. It's so worth it. And it's absolutely imperative too. If you have some idea that you want to be better in life in general, you know that, like, oh, I have all these ideas about what I want to be. You can have anything you want in life, and you don't have to be perfect. The point is, the moment that you realize that you are traumatized, that you figure out the source of why you have trouble connecting with people, the work does not end there. You owe it to yourself to dive deeper. You owe it to yourself to find the right resources or people who can help you improve, who can help you be your best self, like who can really, like, kind of help you break it down. There's books, there's videos, there's tons of information out there. There, honestly, I mean, I don't know. It's very hard for me to be sympathetic to certain people who have the resources and just aren't using them. Now, I get it. Life is busy. You got families, you got jobs, there's a lot of stuff, and it's very, very stressful. It's very high impact. Some people just can't get to it. I get it. But for those of us who do have a little bit of wiggle room, we have to invest some time in ourselves. We want to talk about self-love. We want to talk about self-care. Taking a self-care day. I need to paint your nails and sitting in the bathtub ain't going to do it. Sorry. It ain't going to do it. It's not going to fix the problem. Sometimes you got to write in your journal about what's on your heart. Sometimes you got to sit with a friend who knows you well and let them help you break it down. The stuff that sits on us, the stuff that blocks us, the stuff that, like, prevents us from growing, the stuff that you realize you get in relationships and you keep living the same cycles over and over. You keep meeting the same kind of people with the same kind of behaviors. I posted this, I want to say it was the day before yesterday or whenever it was. At some point, the toxic people you keep running into is a reflection of yourself. It's what's going on inside that keeps pulling them in. It keeps pulling them in. Now, granted, it could be one dude. Oh, girl, he stole my checkbook and he ran off to the Bahamas with all my savings. First of all, if you got that much savings, sis, I need you to be a little careful with your checkbook. That's number one. But, you know what I'm saying? You run into these crazy people and something crazy. Girl, you will never believe what happened, girl. This, and that. And, yo, I met this girl. She was like that, blah, 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 blah. There's tons of stories of just crazy mishaps. I get it. But per my post about, like, the challenges that you guys are having in dating, I'm realizing a lot of y'all keep living out the same cycles because y'all didn't fix it the second, third, and the fourth time. I'm going to give you the first one, though. The first one is a freebie. Everybody gets one. But y'all got 2 and 3 and 4 times that things are coming up, and y'all aren't addressing it in a way that says, okay, the common denominator is me. How can I be better? How can I improve on my behaviors? How can I be better about my understanding? How can I be more patient? How can I be more communicative? How can I be this? How can I be that? Even having clear goals about what you're looking for will probably keep y'all from going on all these raggedy ass dates y'all keep going on. You out here just dating and you just don't even know. And then you want to be like, oh, girl, because I just don't even know. These dudes out here not on my level. Well, what's your level, sis? What level you on? Where you at? What's your level? When I get on my dating consultations, I have people tell me, give me the most recent relationships that you've been in. And as I listen. I just listen during the consultation. And I learn everything I need to know in the first 15 minutes. It does not take me that long. Because everybody's got a pattern. You got a pattern. And that's why I wanted to address the cutoff culture, is because I need y'all to realize that cutoff culture ain't going to fix you. It's just going to be you and your toxic ass behaviors by your goddamn self. I wish that I could be nice and be like, oh, you guys, it's No, they ain't being mean to you. You being mean to you. Sorry. And like, I'm not just saying this just to like be spewing nonsense or negativity or any of that. This is how I have to talk to myself. When I realize I've come across another cycle of something I keep reliving as a loop, I have to be like, V, really? The fuck? Like, what are we doing here, V? Why are you behaving this way? And I have to really, like, I literally have to sit with myself. I'm not talking about figuratively, like, as I'm in my head when I'm shopping in the mall. No, sit yourself down. Sit down. Sit down. Get a book and write it out. Okay. Why am I struggling with this? What is my issue? Why do I keep messing up these jobs? Why I keep leaving a job or getting fired? Why can't I have deeper relationships with the people that I'm dating? Why? Why do I keep making friendships where I'm the one doing the heavy lifting and they're not really showing up for the friendship at all? Why do I? As examples of like some things y'all could be going through. Why? Start to really sit in that. Prez got a comment. Hold on, y'all give me 1 second because I have to be able to expand this to see what he said. Most diseases are actually the body's natural way of removing the energy imbalance. Medication actually halts this natural process, healing chemically. But yes, healing is ugly. Laugh out loud. As within, so without. Yo, that's such a good point, and that would need its own conversation to be had of how your body actually holds on to any of the manifestation of issues in your life. And you don't have to believe in like, I know some of y'all are like, I don't believe in that mumbo jumbo and saging and crystals and all that. You don't have to, but I can give you an example of how this works in everyday life that is just the bare bones of it. Most diseases are stress in your body. Let me give you an example. You ever been anxious about taking a test? Like when you was in high school, you about to take a big test, maybe a midterm or final or something. Your body ever feel different when you about to take a test, or when you about to give a big presentation, or when you are about to do something and you have either fear or nervous or anxiety? How does your body feel? You feel it within your body. Your chest might get tight, your hands might get sweaty, all of these things. So if your body can react directly to the way that you're feeling in that moment, what makes you think that that feeling can't prolong itself over time and show up as a sickness? I want you to think about that. For those of you who don't think that stress is the #1 killer, especially for Black people, I want you to think about why you really think it's not. It absolutely is. We eat our stress, we live our stress, we sleep our stress, or not sleep in some cases, of insomnia, which can be stress-induced in a lot of cases, heart disease. All these things, it manifests in the body and shows up in various ways. You don't tackle it, it will tackle you. Period. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules. I'm just telling you guys what I know based off of the life that I've lived. When I had my worst, like when I was in the midst of the worst PTSD that I had, it didn't show up until 6 months after my husband passed away. I did not reach the peak of my PTSD from him passing until 6 months later. When it showed up, I got chest pain so hard that I thought I was having a heart attack. My throat would literally, it felt like somebody had their hands on my throat. It would be hard to breathe and talk. Some people might think that I'm exaggerating these symptoms. I'm not. I am not. Would have to go to the doctor and sit there and then have them tell me nothing was wrong. Oh, you're just having an anxiety attack. Oh, you just had another panic attack. What? What you mean? Give me some medication, doctor. Help me out here. And one of my doctors actually prescribed me some pills and said they were antidepressants. They were the strongest ones they had on the market. But he told me when he gave me the prescription, if you take these pills, it might make you feel better. Might, emphasis on might. However, your symptoms won't necessarily stop until you get to the root of why you have the symptoms. That's what he told me. And then he sent me skipping off into the streets. I must have left the doctor's office so confused, like, I want to feel better. I've got this medication that's supposed to help me, but he said if I don't get to the root, it's just going to keep being there. So I'm not going to be fixed. No, you're not going to be fixed. The weed ain't going to help. You can smoke weed all day. It's natural. Yeah, but if you can't get through a day without weed, okay, unless it's for pain. There's ones that are for pain. I get it. Pain is just one of those things. But if we're talking about like, oh, I can't focus, or oh, I can't sleep, or I can't, eventually you have to get to the core of why your body's responding that way and figure it out without weed. You gotta try to break that down. I get it. It's a lot of work, but I'm just telling you, it's not gonna go away. It's not gonna go away. It just is what it is. So this has been a very heavy conversation, which I didn't mean for it to be this heavy, but I also just want to, this is the point. I want there to be hope. I want there to be hope that you can heal. It's possible to heal, but I'm not going to try to kind of pussyfoot what that growth looks like. I'm not going to, half-ass or sugarcoat what that growth looks like. It takes to find a therapist, maybe a free one in your area. Maybe they have free group therapy sessions in your area. Maybe you can reach out to a few different friends and get a group together. Maybe y'all meet one Sunday out of every month and y'all just dump all your crap. You just, oh girl, let me tell you what happened. So first of all, okay, my ex-boyfriend gonna try to add me on Instagram. Get it out. Get it out. Get it out. Release, 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 release. Because the quicker you relieve yourself of the burdens of all the issues, the more you can start focusing on the quality in your life. The more you can start investing beautiful, positive energy in all the amazing things that you have going for you. You can start focusing on your blessings instead of your burdens. You can start uplifting yourself and bringing yourself joy. You can start doing the same for others. You can start being the blessing that you are in life, in your own life, and other people's lives. And y'all can stop cutting people off all the damn time. Answer the damn phone. Reply to the damn text message. Y'all be making this too hard. Y'all make being friends with you very challenging and difficult. A lot of y'all who are complaining about how hard it is to meet people, how hard it is to make friends, how hard are the ones that are being hard. It's y'all. Honestly. Because I hear it all the time. And then when I have these conversations one-on-one, I'm looking like, do they know that this is on them? Not on the other person? In what way can I tell y'all that y'all are the ones that are sabotaging your own relationships because you have abandonment issues from somebody you love that did something to you a long time ago? I don't know how to tell y'all that. The reason why I know that though is because that was me. It is me still sometimes. I still have these symptoms sometimes. And I have to check myself and I have to say, I didn't show up the best way in that scenario. I'm not doing this the right way. Yo, when I tell you I am surrounded by people that hold me accountable. I have people that hold me accountable so much it hurts my damn feelings. But that's the only way I'm going to grow. I need to have people who will tell me, yo, you wasn't right about that. Because they don't give a they're not doing it for clout. They're not being my friend just, be friends because this is that. We don't make up some beautiful Transformers at super group of people. No, we are a bunch of people that's like, you should have did it that way. Or here, let me help you do this better. Hey, let's have a conversation about that thing that happened that hurt your feelings. Let's talk about that. Because I want you to heal. I want you to be better. And so if I'm your friend, I'm your loved one, and I want you to be better, I'm going to have the tough conversations with you. I'm going to tell you, You was wrong for that. I'm going to tell you, yeah, you need to work on your communication. Your communication is a little whack. Here's another sidebar about communication. If you don't communicate effectively with people about what's going on in your life, then you can't get mad at them when they decide to stop dealing with you because you didn't give them all the information in the first place. So they were able to come up with their own conclusions without you. Y'all don't want to answer phone calls. Y'all don't want to answer text messages. What do you expect? You literally expect for people to just always assume the best about what's going on? I'm without. Somebody give me some explanation here because I don't understand how this works. Y'all want to have deep relationships. Y'all keep talking about this village. You're talking about the community. Y'all want to be out at soup kitchens serving food to the homeless, and y'all want to do this, and y'all want to go travel the world and rebuild villages and all this stuff, but y'all don't want to text back your best friend that y'all had a slight little misunderstanding with, and now your friend think y'all not friends no more. Aren't y'all it sounds a little counterproductive to me. How you gonna heal the world and you ain't healed yourself? How? Somebody tell me how. Again, I'm only saying this because I suffer from the same thing. I have to think about this if I want to be better. I want to create a world that when I eventually have children, my children can flourish and be their best selves in this world. But how am I going to do that if I'm still exhibiting the behaviors and the mindsets and all these things that I don't want them to have access to? How? I have to heal myself. I do. Trina said, it's the other way around with me. I'm the one who reaches out and they run. Correct. I mean, girl, me and Trina have definitely had this conversation before. And it can be frustrating because this is the thing I also want you guys to be aware of. When you start to recognize your own shortcomings, when you start to recognize your own toxic behaviors, when you start to get to a point where you look back and say, ooh, I did mess that up. Ooh, that was me. Ooh, I could have did that better. So on and so forth. And then you start operating at a higher level where you're paying closer attention to your friends. You're being a little bit more attentive to your partner, to your lover, to your family members. You're giving people grace with boundaries. You are learning to allow people to be themselves and move in the space, but also not trample over you. When you get to that space, you're going to get disappointed a lot. Probably a lot more than you ever were before. And I kind of broke this down recently with a client that I was working with. So it's this idea that I have, and I'll try not to go too deep into it, but it's basically the concept of categorizing everyone in your life. Not everyone in your life is going to get to have access to every category of your life. You might have a good girlfriend. Y'all have known each other since the 3rd grade, but she may not understand the business conversations that y'all have. She might not understand your like personal relationships. You might only be able to talk to her about, current events and, I don't know, latest fashion trends. You got to meet people where they're at. And that'll save you a lot of disappointment. But in that phase of trying to step up and be a better friend, you're going to find that not a lot of people have that same capacity. And that's okay. It's okay for you to say, you know what? This person doesn't necessarily translate into the other places in my life. I'm going to let them be. And it don't have to be on some like, oh, we got issues. Oh, F that B and da, 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 da. No, it's just, we don't vibe in the same room. It's not even the same level. We're not in the same room at the club. They over there in techno and I'm over here in old school hip hop. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Trina said, but I'm working on being better at claiming my shit. That's a big, big, big one. Trina, hats off to you. Kudos to you for that. That's the first step. And hence, back to my original point about cutting people off. Probably shouldn't be cutting people off when you're the problem sometimes. So, I'm the problem sometimes. I'm not perfect. I do not have all the answers. I am just learning to take a better assessment on situations. I'm learning, and this is huge for me, and I talked about this in another video about my confessions. I lack patience. And one of the reasons why I lack patience is because I'm so anxious sometimes about the future that I need for the good stuff to hurry up and get to me. So I want fast results. I want quick friendships. I don't want it to marinate. I don't want it to be done in 4 to 8 hours. I want it to be done like now. It should have actually already been done. That's my mentality because of how my body responds to certain things with anxiety and with depression and all of that. Now, granted, I've gotten much better over time, but it takes time. All of it takes time. And probably one of the biggest lessons I've learned is cutting people off is not the answer, because then you don't get to have their feedback on maybe what you could have done better. It's not just always the other person. I promise you it's not. Probably most of the time it's not the other person. It's always an explanation that can kind of settle things, or at least put you at ease and let you know, look, not everybody's trying out to get you. Not everybody's crazy or hates you or any of these things. Oh, you think you're a burden. Oh, you think they don't like you because of this and they're jealous and they're whatever. I promise you, y'all real self-centered for that stuff. It's not, it don't be that deep. It don't be that deep. There's an explanation for it, but it's not always what you assume. Cutting people off is not always the answer. That's what I'm going to say. Press said, when you own up to your shit, you psychologically take control of yourself and the situation always. That is absolutely true. Press up here hijacking my video with all these big facts. No, I'm just playing. That's absolutely true, though. It's absolutely true. And as I grow and as I learn, I realize that there are a lot of situations that could present conflict that I just need to kind of sit in my own thing and just like let it ride out. It's not for me to always be speaking about. I have to worry about myself. I'm minding the business that pays me. And that business is me. I got to focus on how I'm reacting. I can't change their reactions. I can't change anyone's behavior. Here's a note for many of y'all who might be in relationships or whatever. You can yell and scream and throw stuff and get frustrated and try to guilt trip them as much as you want to do what you want them to do. It's not going to change anything. They're still going to do what they want to do. I'll tell you that for a fact. In my marriage, when I started to realize that there was nothing that I could do that would change his behavior, that I could not make him do what I wanted him to do, he was going to do what he wanted to do at all times, it started to take a weight off of me. But it took a long time, because you always think, oh, well, if somebody loves me enough, they'll do it. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. And if you're able to guilt people into doing things for you, then they're not really doing it on their own. They're doing it because they're trying to not be in trouble with you. You're controlling them in a way that's not healthy. There goes that toxic behavior again. Just showing up. Look at you being all toxic and cute. I'm telling y'all, cutting people off only gonna have you out there looking for new victims. And then y'all keep wondering why you keep running into the same types of relationships. I hate to break it to y'all. I really do. I hate to break it to y'all. But that's just not how any of this works. You gotta address yourself. Trina said releasing control is freeing in its own right. Absolutely. So as you go into new friendships, as you go into possible new relationships, etc., you have to realize that people are going to do what they want to do. You have to let that control go. Actually, to go even further than that, in life, you have to surrender a lot. Sometimes you got to let Jesus take the wheel. For real. Sometimes you just got to be like, I ain't got it. Don't know what's going to happen. Don't have none of the answers. I'm just doing my best. Honestly. You have to. Because life is always going to be what it's going to be. When my husband passed away, I didn't plan for that. Didn't nobody plan for that. even if he would have gotten sick and passed away over time, it wouldn't have, the impact doesn't change because you do not plan necessarily in your mind for your loved ones to pass away. There's no preparation you can really do for that. When it happens, it hits you like a ton of bricks. The reality of it sets in, and that's when you have to eventually have a conversation, not immediately, but eventually have a conversation of, this life is going to do what it's going to do, and I just need to be okay with that. My friends are going to do what they're going to do, and I need to be okay with that. My parents, my loved ones, my children, they're going to do what they're going to do, and I need to be okay with that. If you need to pray about it, pray. If you got to write in your journal about it, whatever helps you with reprogramming your mind to know that just because you're not in direct control doesn't mean that things are out of control. It doesn't mean that everything's going to be bad. It just means that you got to kind of let things flow a little bit sometimes. You got to be able to tell what's your responsibility and what's not. Some of that stuff y'all holding is not on you. It's not your responsibility to make sure that your friend who's an alcoholic stops being an alcoholic. It's not. You can't save everybody. It's not up to you to be like, oh, my good girlfriend's in an abusive relationship. I need to get her out of it. Sorry, that's not for you either. You can do as much as you can. Hey, girl, I believe in you. You got a place to come if you need to, whatever. I can help you figure out, blah, 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 blah. But if she don't want to leave, what you gonna? That's her choice. That's her choice. Sometimes you got to let people do their thing. Sometimes you got to let people do their thing, and you got to raise your hands and say, you know what? That is outside of my control. So I could talk all day about this, but the long and short is that in life, we are always learning, we're always growing, and we're always trying to figure out how we can be our best selves. And hopefully you're on that journey of like healing. But I just wanted to tell you guys that cutting people off, just like, I don't spend no time, and I don't think, and you just did it, and this is my favorite. If I catch a wrong vibe, I'm out. Really? So you're telling me that you just catch a vibe and you just get a feeling in your stomach. The person ain't actually done anything. They haven't done anything. But you caught a vibe and you were out. Now, unless the vibe was, I don't know, you saw open bags of cocaine in their top drawer with a gun and some cash and extra IDs. Some look like they have a drug cartel or something that really puts your life in danger. I can't even think of what vibe y'all are out here catching that's going to have you stop talking to somebody like that. Maybe somebody can explain this to me. Why are y'all so quick to stop dealing with people? Why are y'all so quick to not allow people to explain themselves and get to know them? How many times have you assumed something about somebody and then found out that it was wrong later? I'm saying assumptions, not actual founded information. Obviously, if you find information about somebody, you decide you don't want to deal with them, cool. But I'm saying a vibe. You cutting people off from vibes? Oh, this is also my favorite. Those shirts going around, good vibes only. So people not allowed to be sad? Is that? So if somebody's sad, then they just out. Good vibe. I see you trying to be sad. You don't get to express your emotions around me. You know there's such thing as toxic positivity too, right? Yeah. Toxic positivity actually manifests in your body as stress because you haven't cried in 5 years. How's that going for you? How's heart disease going? Had any strokes lately? I don't know what else to tell you. I'm only laughing because it's hilarious to me that y'all think that forcing yourself to not be human, to not feel, to not express yourself, to not be in your full emotions and in your present state is going to save you. Y'all think being a robot and being cold and cutting people off like that is actually saving you from emotions, when the actuality is y'all are traumatized as shit sometimes. Y'all really need to take a moment and be like, why do I feel this way? Why do I not want to give people opportunities to express themselves? Why can't I have deeper relationships? Why haven't I talked to my best friend in 7 years? Why? Why is this a thing? And most of the time y'all realize it's over some stupid stuff. And some of y'all are just cowards. That's a whole other thing. I could talk all day about that. I'm sorry. If y'all know me, y'all know I'm not going to mince words with y'all. Some of y'all are just cowards. I don't know any other way to say that. If somebody's got a suggestion on how I can say y'all avoid conflict because y'all are cowards sometimes, please put it into the comments because I don't have it. I don't have it. Let's have a commercial break where we appreciate how beautiful Thaddeus is. Y'all say hi to Thaddeus. Thaddeus is a beautiful house tree, and he's living his best life, even though I don't water him all the time. He deserves all the nice things in this world. But yeah, so back to what I was saying. Y'all either come to terms with your demons or your demons come to terms with you. Y'all get to decide. But it will show up in your life. It will show up in your body. It will show up in your relationships, and cutting off people is not the answer. I know y'all really wish that it was, but it's not. Sorry. I think that's it for me now. I think I've come to the end. If you guys have questions, comments, if y'all want to set up a consultation and talk about some of the ways y'all can start unpacking these different types of feelings and emotions and the areas that y'all are struggling in. If y'all have gone into 2020 and you realize that you're kind of repeating a cycle that you dealt with in 2019 and 2018 and 2017, hit me up for a free consultation. I'll tell you what it is. I promise you. If I don't have the answer, you'll get your money back on the free consultation. I will give you 100%. Talk to me. What could it hurt? What could it hurt? Let's have a free consultation to figure out why you keep dating the same dude in a different body. Let's have a conversation about why you keep getting a job and you can't work at a job longer than 6 months. Let's have a conversation about whatever. About why you and your mom not on good terms. Let's talk about it. It's free. Why not? Couldn't hurt. I like to talk, obviously. Okay, that's it for me. I'm going to go drink more water. I hope y'all are drinking water. Cheers to you. And y'all enjoy y'all Tuesday evening, okay? January seems to be flying by, so if you got some goals, you better get started on them. And I hope one of them is also self-healing. Until next time, bye y'all.